Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of our Velocity Sellers Podcast. I am your host, Velocity Pete, and today we are joined by Ariel, an e-commerce manager, a account growth specialist, an advertising specialist, an expert, dare I say, and we're here to talk to him about sort of his ups and downs with Amazon, kind of what he's been experiencing, and also just to give you some tips and tricks from his end on a couple different topics. So going to be a fun, variety-filled episode today. So Ariel, thank you so much for coming on today and joining us to, again, talk more about Amazon and just e-commerce in general.
Thank you for inviting me. So where to start? I came up post-COVID when jobs were very difficult. Even to be a front desk person, you had to apply like 20 times. It was incredibly difficult. But I was fortunate enough to get into a startup company that was reselling Apple products. And they had it was mainly e-commerce. So that was my first experience. And it kind of gave me the opportunity to explore because it was like a startup setting. It was very free. There's a lot of freedom to explore, to question things, and versus a lot of bigger companies that there's rules and there's guidance and you got to follow in line. I had the opportunity to kind of question why things are the way they are. And I think that's in essence, especially when you're thinking about training new people or training employees to greatness, you always gotta help them as to the whys versus just do the work, follow my guidance, do what I did, and you'll be good. Because at the end of the day, you really want them to question the world and to grow from it. So I think I was fortunate enough to have a great mentor that never said, just do it, but always came and asked me, why did we do it? So that was my personal experience, and it kind of pushed me to ask myself all the time, why? Why is it happening? I got into Amazon. I was in charge of Amazon International Marketplace, and I was fortunate enough to get the ability to start getting into ads with a lot of freedom. Seeing great results, I felt this kind of pride that I'm making progress, so that I'm pushing the needle, and that kind of gave me the drive, the push to learn more and get more into it. As time went by, I switched jobs, and I'm currently working for Theralogix. We sell supplements. We're mostly a fertility-based practitioner brand. But that experience actually opened my eyes to how do you help brand grow in the marketplace versus how do you help revenue grow in the marketplace, which are not exactly the same. Although they're kind of coincided, they're not exactly the same. So that experience was very crucial for me as a person coming from the outside, just trying to generate revenue, to start thinking about how do you generate incremental revenue. Which I think is something that a lot of people kind of ask themselves. I'm spending money, I'm getting money back, but on the overall, is it incrementally helpful? And when am I going to see that incremental boost? Am I going to see it right away or not? And I think that really depends on what you're selling and what type of brand you are. So I'll give you an example. We are a very branded focused company, meaning that a lot of our traffic is a branded traffic. People come and look for a company name. We are very well known, but we're not necessarily well known to the average Amazon consumer. So when you have that type of business model from an Amazon perspective, the goal is to make sure that you capture every single person who's going to look for your product. And how do you do that? Well, that's a big question. Do you advertise more? The answer might surprise you. The answer is kind of no. You don't really need to just spend more money on advertising when you have a branded focused company. If you try to do new customer acquisition, that's a different story. But again, that opens another question. Is your product relevant to the categories you're trying to portray? Are you customer relevant? Is there enough relevancy in your products to have an organic placement visibility for the average Amazon consumer? Once you answer all of those questions, you can decide whether it's worth it to go and invest a lot of money into new customer acquisition, or switch and say, let's build up on what you call the bottom of the pyramid, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. There's a lot of
Or the
scopes of advertising where they
marketing
try to,
funnel. Yeah, there's a lot of terms for it,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
they try to funnel it like a little pyramid where you start from the bottom of the funnel, people who search from you,
Hmm.
and then you go like mid and then top, which is just
Everybody.
everybody.
Yeah.
Come see my product. You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Buy it now, and then you hope for the best. So it's for us specifically, we're actually in a very interesting time. We're changing completely our advertising strategy from being like a very hybrid mix of high and low funnel, where I would say 70% goes in the high funnel, which is really like everybody come see us, and 30% goes into protection. And we're modifying it to the mid funnel. And the reason why, it's because our product is very relevant in regards to quality, to ingredients, to the way to how helpful it is for the average consumer, and the result it is because we have a doctor as a CEO of a former doctor. So for him, he cannot sell you something it doesn't work. Like he will feel a personal stab in the heart if he felt like he gave you. We have a lot of fertility based products. So let's say your wife's trying to get pregnant, she bought one of our products, and she had any sort of reaction. I will see him cry in his room about it. He will suffer. So for him, it's very crucial that we have to use the best ingredients and follow every single scientific research.
Yeah. No
Not
cutting corners
everything
with
is
this guy.
backed. Everything is
Yeah.
fully backed up, to the source. Has to be 100%. And because of that, we sell products that are not, I would say, the most approachable supply term. Everybody's selling a 30-day product, a
Hmm.
50-day product, 2 weeks, and you'll get that headache over with. You get that joint pain done. And our owner, he says, no, no, no. Like, if the science says you need 3 months to get the results, we will only sell you 3 months worth of supply. We want to make sure that you will get better. Um, but sadly, the way Amazon works, it's not that fact that he's doing the good work doesn't mean that everybody's gonna necessarily notice it, like it, and the fact that we will push that forward and say, "Hey, come and spend $100 on a product that will help your urinary tract infection get better." It may not be as approachable as we think it is to the average consumer, because the average consumer in Amazon, they have a UTI. Yes, they're concerned about it, but they're not concerned enough to go and spend $100 on a quality product quite yet.
They might be looking for
Especially
something
if they
cheaper on Amazon
exactly,
too, looking for like a better price. Yeah, that's always hard to see when you're putting out quality product and you know it's good, and you have to charge a little bit more because the quality stuff costs a little bit more to make, and that's just how it is. It's not like you trying
yep.
to scam these people. But they see the lower price tag and maybe the more reviews, and they go, oh well, Amazon customers can be fickle a little bit. I know with that, so no offense to all of our shoppers out there, um, but
You're good. You're smart.
yeah,
You're smart. You're competitively smart. That's what I say.
thank you. But yeah, no, I'd love to again to get a little bit more into kind of just again your stories with Amazon and really how not to and sorry I cut you off there a little bit, but you
Oh
want to go
no,
back into
no.
that and kind of talk to me about being a higher price, being um, a top of the line product. What are some of the things what struggles that you see aside from people buying the cheaper product that you deal with kind of on Amazon?
Well, I would say that the biggest difficulty that I've noticed is the ability to get more market share. You can get more market share in regards to revenue because you can grow your brand loyalty, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll be able to approach the average consumer and say, here's my product. And even if you put all your money into top of funnel and say, hey, I spent a lot of money on the first thing you're seeing. An average consumer tends to look at three things, right? Oh, maybe four. Title. Is the title attractive? And they also look at the phone now, which is about 60 to 80% of Amazon consumers look at the mobile phone. So whatever nice, beautiful title you had, now it's 90 characters. What can you do with 90 characters? Not a lot. Depending on the size of the phone, it can be even less, even 60 characters. So you really got to make sure that the start of your title is what's going to get a customer to say, hey, you know what? They sell this much. Okay, cool. I want to see what's going on there. I want to click now. The second thing is the main image. And the main image is something that's very difficult because as a brand, you want to present yourself in the way that in Amazon, in the way that you want to present yourself all over the place. But you also need to experiment. You need to play around. Me and my previous manager, we went to Vegas last year for the Prosper Show, which is like an Amazon conference. And there was one big takeaway we took from a lot of Amazon specialists. And I don't remember the name of the guy. His name was Carlos. He was like a genius. I don't remember exactly what he did, but he owned several Amazon companies. He told us that to start playing around with what you call 3D render main images, where I don't know if a lot of people know this, but through Amazon guidelines, it's kind of a gray area where you can take a product and you can put, like, for example, you say you have a product that has capsules, any chance, or like vegetables, you can put the vegetable next to the bottle. And as long as even like one little dot touches between the vegetable and the bottle, Amazon categorizes that as a single unit.
As one picture,
as one entity.
Yeah. No, the overlapping loophole is very, very, I think it's very cool. I actually hope Amazon makes that more of a white area and just says, hey, you can do this. Go ahead. Because we do
Then
it for our partners.
eBay.
Yeah, true. Whoever found it, awesome. Thank you. Shout out to you, Kevin King, Tim Jordan type person. But it was really, really, really cool to see how many people use it differently. I love when I'm shopping and I see one, then I'm like, oh, that's really clever. Kind of like you said, if it's got some sort of vegetable in it, or if it's like some sort of hand lotion and it's the whatever scent it is, like there's like a vanilla leaf on there or a vanilla flower. And just other really, again, like a creative way to use it. I saw a couple different like pet products that have actually like a dog or a cat overlapping of the toy or the gate or the fence or something. It's very, very neat to see, again, what people do with that. But yeah, really, really cool loophole that was discovered, and that has been not, I guess, hopefully not anytime soon, patched by Amazon's end. They don't seem to, they have to know it's out there, but they don't seem to know how to fix it. So
yeah, it's definitely a difficult algorithm. I guarantee you that they're not going to fix it, just because people, even if they make it a little bit more restricted, people that are even slightly creative know how to go around that, because you just need a single pixel to connect. And a single pixel is not something that you and I can see with our bare eyes. So that's something that I would recommend all Amazon sellers to do continuously. A/B testing on those two factors. Do all the time. If you think you're done, you're not done. That's the name of the game. The moment you think you're solid, the moment you think conversion rate where it needs to be, you're not. You gotta do continuous A/B testing all the time. Do I want to make the day's supply in the front? Do I want to put the main ingredient in the front? You gotta remember that the second layer is the fact that majority of the consumers, I think, in all categories are moving to the mobile version. So you gotta optimize looking at your phone. If you look at your desktop, you are losing all of those customers because you are just not in the game. It's funny. I had to explain that to my CEO because he's an older gentleman, and he was very fixated on like, hey, this is how I see it. So the average consumer will see it like this. It's like, no, they look at their mobile device and Amazon app.
Yeah, I think it's something like 70%, I want to say, of all purchases are on mobile, which is that's not exactly accurate, but it's something definitely a lot more than half of purchases are made on mobile. It's just so much more easier. Everyone has the Amazon app. If you have a phone, you have the Amazon app. It really should just come pre-installed, like all the other like settings and calendar. Um, but yeah, no, and to go back to your A/B testing point, my buddy John, who I had on the podcast, John Aspinall, over at PickFu, he had a great quote where if you're not testing, you're guessing. And so I don't know if that's exactly from him, but he said it on the podcast. And it's true. If you're not testing out the different things, if you're not saying, okay, which of these works best, also in product development, but also like you mentioned, A/B testing, maybe you have a great main image, but maybe it could be better. Maybe you could have a winner idea from your creative department that says, hey, if you put this on here, it'll really give the customers the, psychological feeling of feeling better. Or this will attract more people on advertising. We'll get a nice click-through rate. We'll get people to click into the product more, and they'll like it, and they'll see it, and they'll read about it, and they'll buy it. So I absolutely agree. Testing is a fundamental part of growing your Amazon business, and really expanding into different areas of where you can be more profitable, make some more money.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, especially in this very, very dynamic world of Amazon where badges get moved around, stickers change color all the time, and then you come as a consumer, be like, oh, I saw this thing. What is this bestsellers badge? What is this most qualified? What is this certification here at the bottom? What is this green little thing? Is it a coupon? Let me click on that. That's exciting. So going to that, my second kind of point on what the average consumer will see is they look at the title, they look at the image, and they do look at reviews. They do look at reviews, and price point is very big to them. But if they see a price point and then they see a little green coupon next to it on the bottom of it, they're more enticed to go and check it out, because whether we like it or not, we like to get a deal. We like to feel like we beat the system. We got it cheap. We did our math.
We won.
And even
Yeah.
we won. Right. And that's where, as a marketer, you got to think outside the box, and you're like, all right, how do I make them feel like they've done the deal of their lifetime today? How do I make them feel like they got the product that looks most attractive in the marketplace, has the best front image? How do I make sure that the title looks enticing, looks welcoming? How do I make sure that all my customer reviews are as good as they can be? Because we know one bad review is equal 1,000 good reviews.
Yeah, you get one of those on there, and it's like bad. You get a bad one on there, and you get a little nervous.
You like $1,000 down the drain every day.
Yeah, might as well be, honestly. Those are killer, especially with Rufus coming out and Rufus really being a bigger player in how people find your products. Right now, it's mostly it's still keywords, and people are typing in things, and you can bid on those keywords and stuff. But I think it's really crucial to your point, to have as much information for the customer to get the best understanding possible of what they're buying. What am I getting from this product? You want to use all your bullet points. You want to use all of your images. You want to have 6 images in a video that all explain to the customer, hey, this is what I'm selling. This is what you're getting. This is what you're putting your money towards and receiving from a complete stranger, someone you have no idea who they are on Amazon. You're trusting me with your money, and I'm, giving this product to you, trusting that it is good and all that kind of good stuff. But to go back to that a little bit, yeah, like I know Rufus coming out is really, again, you want to make sure all information about your product is on there. For that way you avoid return rates, you avoid bad reviews. I hate to bring John back up again, but to another point he mentioned was Bluetooth products. Bluetooth products are one of the most returned things on Amazon because people can't figure out how to pair them. And so if you sell a Bluetooth product, you need to have maybe an image or two exactly explaining this is what you do. This is how you do it. This is what you do. And of course, when you're a bigger company, you put inserts into the product of, like a instruction sheet of, hey, you need to do this. This is how you do it. But I think it's helpful as well on Amazon to get that sense of, okay, when I get this product, this is how I'm going to do it. So yeah, so all this to say that, you're selling something to the customer. You're not just, putting something in front of them and telling them to eat it. You're giving them options. There's a million options on Amazon for every single category. And you want to make sure yours is the most well presented so that they understand that, okay, I feel good about buying this product. I won it on the coupon kind of topic, like not only just coupons, but really just information in general. I won this deal. This is my win because I got this super cool product that I love. So
Yeah, no, 100% agree. I was gonna go a little bit into one of the topics you mentioned, which is what do you need to optimize in the modern day of 2024 into your listing to get a better conversion rate on Amazon? Which it goes back to the idea that a lot of our consumers, they're going in a mobile app. So you really got to see what the mobile app is showing them first when they click on your listing. And that has been kind of moved around as Amazon been testing a few things. But the most recent test is that when you go into a listing, you'll see a very small title on the top of your phone. You see main image, and you actually have to forcefully glide through the other images to get to your bullet points. So it goes into this whole different perspective of, okay, I not only have to get like 6 images in the video, I have to make sure that those 6 images are as clear, concise, powerful, and convincing for a consumer to actually continue to go down and maybe look at the bullets, maybe look at reviews of the product, maybe look at my AB plus and brand story, maybe. But those 6 images are going to become, in 2024, the most crucial tool you will have to generate your Amazon conversion rate to grow. Because there's one thing to do all the work, get all the title brilliant, get all the images amazing, have great amount of ratings, have a good price point, a good like coupon, something that exciting them, getting like triggers their eye to click on a listing. But to get that click into a sale, now more than ever, you have to modify and audit all of your images to be way more than just here's a product, it looks pretty, here's a model using it, here's a lifestyle image, and much more of a this is a story that I'm trying to tell you. I have 6 ways to do it. If you don't get convinced by maybe the 3rd or 4th image, then you're going to leave the listing and I'm going to lose that sale.
Yeah.
It becomes much more critical than it used to be, just because bullets used to be more of a prominent thing. You got the bullets, you're writing, you get product description, you're getting some SEO in there, you're getting some algorithmic words, you can write a lot of exciting things in there. You get the AB plus, you got the A plus content, you got the A plus premium. But now Amazon is trying to push that idea that those 6 images, those 6 image tags,
they're the greeter at your party. If that greeter is not good, the person's not coming into your party.
Yeah.
There's got to be a better analogy than that, but they're the
front
first
desk.
course. They're the front desk is even better. I would say that I'm thinking about food. I like food. You couldn't tell. They're the first course. If the first course at a restaurant, you order like a chef's special and like a chef's menu, and he's preparing everything for you, and that first course comes out, and it's not just not to your taste buds, but it's just not good. Doesn't taste good. You're gonna be the rest of the meal. You're gonna say, this was a mistake. I already messed up. I'm 0 for 1. It's that first impression. They're the most important in people to people meetings, and it's the same for Amazon. When a customer comes to your listing and the first thing they're seeing is kind of dorky images, there's not a lot of no lifestyles, or very boring lifestyles, no infographics or just a big picture of block text. I mean, they're gonna leave. They're gonna jump ship immediately. They're not gonna stay on there. They're not gonna sit there and read images. They want to see fun, lively people using the product to make their lives better, because they want to buy this product to make their lives better. So they got to get that image in their mind that, okay, if I buy this, my problem will be solved, or I'll have this in my life, or I'll be able to do X, Y, and Z kind of thing. You really got to sell them on it. Like you said, those images are crucial. They're the cornerstone. They're the keystone. I live in Pennsylvania, which is the keystone state. So I'll use the phrase keystone. They're the keystone of your listing. If those aren't good, doesn't matter what the rest of the listing looks like, or it matters very, very little what the rest of the listing looks like. I won't say, entirely it doesn't matter, but it does really come down to, do your images look good? And if not, first thing you got to do is fix them up.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I would add one more interesting takeaway that we got from Vegas from the Prosper show.
Yeah.
Is there was a lot of recommendation to start looking at bullets as an algorithm, just because they were expecting Amazon to push the idea of images before everything else. There was a lot of people saying, hey, start trying to algorithmize. Am I saying it right? Arithmetic? Not good with that word.
No. To make into an algorithm, kind of to play into the algorithm, I guess.
Play with the algorithm.
I like algorithmatize. I like that.
Algorithmatize.
We'll say it.
Okay, I like it. So yeah, they're kind of going around that idea of, hey, your images are gonna be the main focus here. Your images, your videos, those are gonna be crucial to continue the journey to looking down to your product page. So try to look at some ways to have more algorithm influence with your bullets without making it look all sketchy or anything. But if you can add keywords, and there's a lot of back and forth about it. There's some folks that say that if you have a keyword once in your bullets or your listing, you don't have to have it twice. But there's a lot of people say no. If you have it more generally, there's a lot of people say that they have seen good results. And I'm more toward that side because I've seen it. We had a number one product. I'll give you a story because we signed a contract with an agency. I'm not going to put their name, but they're a huge agency, one of the biggest ones in the e-commerce marketplace. We paid them like $1 million. They redid all of our bullets and they pushed down for our number one product. They pushed down the number one keyword for the category. They pushed it down from we had it around an entire bullets, title, everything. We had about 15 times. They pushed it down to about 4 because in their opinion, it didn't really matter as long as it was there once or twice, good enough.
Yeah.
And we've seen a decline. We've actually seen a decline to the point that we had to not force them, but we had to convince them to do an A/B test to even compare our more scientific, doctor-based bullets to their people-friendly bullets. And that A/B test came back 2 months later showing that our old bullets were better.
Wow. Is that a decline and a test? Were you guys testing just general sales? Were you testing your ranking on the keywords?
We were doing when the change happened, we did an overview of organic rank for that keyword.
Okay.
And we saw a very big decline that just didn't go up for about a year. So it kind of proves the point that, yes, try to put those keywords in there. Don't try to don't make it look stupid with your grammar. But if you can add, if you have the word, if you're doing, I don't know, a pain relief, and you can add in the word relief and pain and some extra places, do it. And worst case scenario is you just come back and say, hey, I'm going to revert it. I didn't see the raising ranking that I wanted to see. Cool. Try something else. Again, it goes back to one of the bigger points is you have to continue to try to modify things all the time, because we have a very competitive marketplace in Amazon. The moment you're not doing it, somebody else will do it. And the algorithm changes quite often with Amazon. So you don't really know. I have actually an interesting theory. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. This is kind of about advertising. But the theory goes to say that Amazon's organic um, ranking algorithm is going on the relevancy to a keyword in regard to conversion rate versus clicks and impressions. And here's why. We had a number one product that we advertise a lot into high funnel, and we just didn't get. It was like a 2%, return, 1% return. It was high funnel, right? Um, we left the agency that I mentioned before, and before we left, we said, hey, how about you cut everything and only keep mid funnel and bottom funnel, just keep those. And I've seen the moment that was cut, a ranking improved by about, I want to say 200% in a day.
Wow.
And my theory was that because our product name has that keyword in it, so branded people who are searching for that product were also typing that keyword. So it was like a broad phrase match in a sense, but it wasn't an exact main keyword, but it was an indirect. It was like second word, third word. And because that was the only relevancy to that keyword, my theory is that Amazon looks at it and say, okay, product, keyword, what type of interactions those have? What type of conversion rates they have? Oh, they have only 1,000 interactions, but they have out of those 1,000 interactions, they have like 700 sales, 70% conversion rate. Great. Let me boost it up. Let me get up there. And that's my own personal theory. There's a lot of people in the field like, no, you got to make sure that your keyword is exactly correlated with sales to your product. So you got to invest in that keyword. But I'm thinking, I've seen in my eyes that the opposite happened, where you can go on the middle funnel, and as long as they're an association in that string to the keyword, you're gonna get that algorithm to say, hey, they are relevant to this keyword, not in a direct way, but they are relevant and they're generating really good conversion rate. Let me keep them up. And it's been about a month and a half. And yes, we went down slightly, but we went from being continuously ranked at like 10, like ranking number 10 to 20. We jumped to 4 immediately. And it continued to go between like 4 and 8 for the last month and a half.
Wow, that's a pretty good jump there.
Right. And like you're asking yourself, what's going on? So should we invest in high funnel? Is high funnel the way to go?
Yeah.
Answer is really it depends. You should probably consider going mid funnel here and there. Measure it out. Test out the algorithm. Try it. Worst case scenario, you paid not a lot of money for mid funnel, probably got good sales, and hopefully you got good ranking out of it. And it doesn't mean you have to diminish high funnel. It's just saying that you shouldn't really ignore the middle of the pyramid as much as a lot of people tend to do. A lot of people tend to kind of skip that phase and be like, all right, if I have 100%, I'm going to spend 30% at the bottom, 60% at the top, and 10% in the middle, because I really want to make sure I capture all the top. I will get there.
Yeah. They want to jump right from the new customer to you're going to buy my product once a day people,
Yeah.
And they kind of miss out on the middleman there. They cut them out and they shouldn't be.
Yeah, but it is a standard. It's a standard. People want to think that if they put the product in the front page, they will get a person who is going to fall in love with it. Like, you're putting your poster up and people have like cartoon heart eyes pumping out like, whoa, the reality
I need that
is,
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A very interesting theory. I've actually have never heard that thought of putting it, putting more keywords into, or repeating keywords. I've never heard that before. Normally, again, I think I'm like most of the people you talk with, is that My thought is I want to get as many relevant keywords in there as possible that have um, a whole lot of volume, a whole lot of sales, and that I can jump on and say, okay, this is relevant to my product. I want to get that in my keyword, especially on the back end. I feel like on the back end, I would never think about duplicating um, what keywords I have in there, but it could be pretty successful for some listings, like you mentioned, if we doubled up on there. I wonder if that works for everything, or if that's sort of a by category kind of thing, or if it's a by product type of thing, or if reviews, like what else affects that? Like reviews, different price points. But a very interesting theory nonetheless. I'm glad you brought that up. Might have to try that here, to be honest with you. But yeah, very very interesting to think that duplicating keywords could maybe give you more of a chance at climbing the organic ranks there. Again, especially I hate to go back to Rufus, but maybe even with Rufus, you double that up. You say, Rufus, this is mentioned, a couple times here now. Maybe Rufus looks at that and says, oh, okay, this is very relevant to this keyword. It's got it in here a couple times. It says the words, like you said, it says the words pain relief a lot of times in here. This must be really good at it, or it must be very relevant to the term pain relief. And it continues to grow it and scale it. Very interesting. Very interesting.
I actually saw a link recently. We're talking about Rufus. I saw a link on LinkedIn of somebody with kind of mentioning that you can try to play around with Rufus and use it in the same way you would use your own DTC customer support Q&As, and try to implement some questions from your company Q&A into it and implement your own answers, and have Rufus learn that, hey, I have this product that's for pain relief, and ask Rufus, is this product for pain relief? If Rufus doesn't know, you put your own answer. And I don't know how true it is, but that's kind of an interesting thought of teaching Rufus to make your product more relevant to it.
Huh. I hadn't heard of that either. I know, like I said, I know Rufus there's a lot of questions surrounding him, and there's a lot of people wondering, like, how do I actually use this? How is this going to affect my ranking? How are people going to find my product? I definitely would recommend going into Rufus and Googling, terms for your category. Like if you have a pain relief medication, say, oh, like what product is best for pain relief, and seeing if yours comes up, kind of thing. Like you said, yeah, very interesting. Very, very cool. I'm really excited to see that come out in full force and to kind of um, play with it a little bit, and kind of like you said, kind of like a what do we say already? I already forgot. Algorithmatize it.
Algorithmatize. There you go.
Algorithmatize it. And really play around with how can I make my product show up first when someone asks Rufus a relevant question to me, or to I guess, about your product and your category. Very cool. But I'd also like to talk to you about, we talked a little bit about catalog expansion. I'd love to kind of get into that as well, and really how an Amazon seller can take a look at what they're selling and say, hey, I could also sell this, or I could also add this product or add this line, and really, again, grow their catalog, grow their business.
Oh, yeah. So regarding that, I would say always focus on the pinnacle of your catalog. In regards to, let's say you have a bestseller. Let's take your top 3 products. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't spread out your wings too far, because then you really can't put the same type of focus you would if you focus on 3 products and try to go about on the first thing before you fully expand it, is how do you manage to get like 90 or 80, I hope for 90. 90 is the blessing. But 90% of people who search for that product name click on that product at the end of the day, or click on product that are from your company. Because whether we like it or not, competitors become organically relevant to us, and they're going to show there. They're going to show, whether it is from advertising, they slowly build up their organic relevancy, or just because they're bestsellers in the category and Amazon wants to push them up there. And I've seen on my flesh and blood how companies that are based on branded traffic do not capture all of the branded customers, even though they specifically search for the branded term. Like let's say in this theory, right? I specifically want whatever bunny coffee, or I'm just throwing it out, making up a name for a brand. Don't trademark me. Um, whatever, like Fire Bunny Coffee. So I'm searching Fire Bunny Coffee, and I see it there, but exactly next to it, I'm seeing herbal coffee, and the herbal coffee is cheaper or approachable, has better rating, better stars. So even though I put the time and effort and say I like this bunny coffee brand and I want to buy it, I hesitate. I take a moment to think and to say, this thing is next to it. Why is it next to it? Is it because it's better? Is it because it's more, should I look into it? Should I click? And what happens, whether we like to think that even our loyal customers are loyal to us, answers are not. They're going to click and they're going to see, especially if you have a premium product, you're going to suffer from this a lot. And even if you're not, even if you have a competitively priced product, you're going to suffer because there's always going to be a cheaper person. And that cheaper person is always going to try to say, I'm cheaper. Let me competitively advertise on your ASIN and get organic placement next to you. So now when somebody search for you and they really want you, they're just going to see something that looks like you, but it's a few dollars cheaper. And, in this economic state, inflation happens. You want to save $1. You want to, they have a coupon for 20% off. You want to make sure that you have enough money left so you can, get enough money for gas or for groceries or anything else. You gotta save what you can in this economy. So Amazon doesn't care about the fact that you work so hard to get loyal customers into your brand and going into this. Like, all right, somebody wants to be there, let them. If they earned the relevancy, let them be there. And every brand suffer from it, whether they want to admit it or not. Every single brand suffers, and the amount that we suffer, I've seen brands that suffer an equivalent amount. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm sure there's much more than that, about more than $500,000 or $1 million a year of revenue gone down the trash just because there was a cheaper person organically next to you, and he took 20% of the clicks of your number one seller, and you just didn't notice.
I believe it. I believe it's, it could be even more than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think about, and admittedly, everyone does product targeting. We do that here. We tell them like, hey, the advertisers, this person has a worse rating than we do, or our product is cheaper than theirs. Let's get in there and let's try and capture some market share. It's just sort of the name of the game on there. But to your point, it's that much more important to go back to our earlier topic to say, hey, this content has to be A1 to keep people on here. Even when they see, okay, this is worse price and maybe it's, a little lesser reviewed, or it's, got more reviews or a better average rating, but, the content here, and then they won't say this out loud, but in their heads, like, oh, I like the look of this one better. This one makes me feel more confident in buying it. Because of the images, because of the bullet points, I feel better about putting my money into this than this one because the images came out much better, and they look a whole lot better, and the overall feeling of the listing, coupled by the A+ content, the brand story, anything, the bullets, title, makes me feel more confident in buying this product. So, absolutely with you. I agree. I think I would say sponsored product ads and really kind of targeting in there and really capturing market share is one of the best ways for us to grow our brands. But I will say that, it's very competitive to do that. And it's very, you got to be, I don't want to say ruthless, but you got to think, you're taking sales away from someone else. You're taking money from someone else. And At the end of the day, that's kind of what you signed up for in this capitalist world of competitive product placement and competitive just really business, which is again I think part of the fun. But yeah, it really does matter how your listing looks. Is really the bottom line. There is it really does come off to people as one of the determining factors of if they're going to buy that product or not.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I would add one tip. I don't think a lot of people do it, or enough people do it, to protect their brand in organic and very cost-effective way. Is we just mentioned about the fact that somebody will search for bunny coffee, and they will see bunny coffee as long as with herbal coffee next to it, and whatever Dunkin' Donuts coffee next to it, and a bunch of different coffees next to it. How do you make sure that the average consumer doesn't see those products? And the answer is very simple: expand your catalog with variations of that include that product. Those variations, preferably, I prefer physical variation, and there's a good reason to it. But if you want to, just get it through, get it done, you can do, 5, 6 virtual bundles in an hour, submit them, get them up there, and they're organically going to help capture a little bit more. Um, Obviously, they need to build some relevancy, but because they're brandedly organic, then that will really help them push further.
Yeah.
Now, here's why I really like physical variations versus bundles. Physical bundles versus virtual bundles
Yeah, I'm
is
not a fan of those
because
virtual bundles either. I'm with you.
I, I don't know. I've had them and they're cute, but they're nothing more than just yeah, yeah. Not a fan. But physical bundles, on the other hand, are ASINs, and with an ASIN, you can advertise on it, and you can use that to competitively, especially because you're a brand owner, you get the cheapest cost per click on branded terms. If you really want to protect your brands, you have to make sure that every one of your want to start with one single product, your number one seller, and start 100% protecting it. Do it. Get 4 bundles or one main product, 3 bundles that include that product in them that you think are relevant. Use the market Amazon basket analysis, see which one of your brand is relevant, create 3 that you think are okay, throw them in there, advertise on each one of them
Yeah.
for that term, cover the sponsored row, and through that, those bundles are going to gain organic relevancy. And now suddenly people don't see herbal coffee, people don't see Dunkin' Donut coffee. They see only bunny coffee, different types of bunny coffee. They see a bundle of bunny coffee and a scooper, a bundle of bunny coffee, whatever, but they see bundle coffee. And you can think to yourself, oh, I built such a big brand, such a strong brand. But at the end of the day, doing something as simple like that saves you more than hundred thousands of dollars additional incremental brand revenue, which is an interesting term because you say brand name revenue. That's not incremental. What are you talking about? No, it's brand revenue you wouldn't have gotten if
Yeah.
you would have just kept everything the way it is and say, hey, I'm a brand. They love my brand. They get to my brand. This is my bias. This is my house. They're going to my house. They're going to get my products. If you think about, if you take that mindset, you're going to lose hundreds of thousands or even more per month. And that money is money that belongs to you because you
Yeah.
work so hard to build up your number one product, to work on the content all the time, to do A/B testing, to do all of that. And then to lose 10% of those clicks because organically there's just another product there. That's
Cheaper.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a sham. Be honest. That's a
Yeah.
shame.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you. And like you said, if someone's looking for your product, you want to make damn sure that your product's coming up and they're not seeing someone else that maybe is cheaper, maybe is again better rated, but they're looking for you. They found you whether you did off-channel marketing, which is so important. They found your social media page and they said, "Oh, I'm gonna go check them out on Amazon or word of mouth or anything like that." if they're going to Amazon, they want to make sure that they find your products, especially in, like, I know you, this is just an example, but especially in food, any kind of food related product, you need multi packs. You
Yeah.
you can't just be selling a one pack of coffee beans or coffee grounds or sauce or anything in the grocery and gourmet category. You gotta have a 2 pack, 3 pack, 4 pack, a case pack. Um,
Gotta
get on
cover it up.
B2B. People will buy them. Restaurants will buy them. I work with a couple different food companies that, we sell case packs to restaurants because they say, oh, we use it in one of our recipes. We always need it on hand, or we put it out on the table, something like that. You're missing a lot of opportunities just being very stale and very stagnant with your catalog. Amazon is not, like you said, Amazon is very dynamic. Amazon is always changing. And that's not just, the website, it's not just Seller Central, it's everything about Amazon is really very dynamic, and you cannot be stale. You cannot be stagnant with Amazon. You have to be constantly updating and changing the way you go about acquiring new customers, keeping the ones you have, driving some from other competitors. Really, just everything with your Amazon business, you need to be dynamic with.
If you don't mind, I would like to put a challenge to the people out there listening to this podcast for
Great
Amazon
way to kind
sellers.
of wrap us up, close us out here. Yeah, let's hear it. What do you got?
My challenge is do spend money into Google advertising G2A. Obviously, get the tag, get the 10% credit back. Do it on the main terms of your products and try to quantify the growth or what people consider the snowball effect. And this is why this challenge is important, because look around all over the web. Everybody will say, oh, I've done G2A, I've done Google to Amazon, I've seen such an increased growth into my ranking. It's amazing. It's amazing. Nobody says how much they grew. Nobody gives you an estimate or an understanding of, hey, I grew from here to here. And it seems like this is how it works. Nobody knows. It's a complete black box. Everybody knows the general, hey, if Amazon likes external traffic, let's get external traffic, and they will like it more than a in-market traffic. And if that external traffic goes into conversion, that conversion is more effective than in-market conversion, but nobody knows by how much. So here's a challenge for all the sellers out there. Try to actually quantify it. If you do manage to quantify it, then that's going to be like the golden goose of external traffic to Amazon, and you will win much more than just the marketplace.
You win our challenge
You win a
as well.
challenge.
Yeah, that's great. Well, everyone out there, sellers, you have your homework. Definitely, like Ariel said, the brand referral bonus is a great way to really increase profitability and just increase really keyword ranking, a whole lot of other things on Amazon. You definitely want to make sure you get that attribution link in there. So yeah, great, great point there. Great challenge. I like it. Um, well, Ariel, I want to thank you for coming on our show today and talking to us about just in general Amazon topics and ways that sellers can improve and optimize. Do you have any final thoughts for our viewers?
I would say we covered a lot of important thoughts, which is never stop, never stop. Um, Always go and learn, and always share. Always find people you can conversate about, because sometimes in this industry, whether when we find something that's really unique, we want to make sure that we have that secret sauce with us, but we can't make the secret sauce better unless we share it with other cooks. We're all in one big kitchen. If we don't share recipes, we can make the recipes better. We only grow if we're together in this. If everybody's having their own strategy, nobody's really developing. Everybody's just stagnant. And only through sharing and conversating about ideas, we can actually get to better places. So be open, be open. LinkedIn is a great place to keep it. I'm following several folks, whether it is just new updates from Amazon, to kind of ideas about how to do better advertising. It helps me grow. And I think that's something, just tell Amazon sellers, go in there, talk. talk about what you're going through, talk about the ideas you have, talk about the theories you have. Because somebody might say, hey, I have the same theory and I have a little bit of extra to add. And then you're going to add an extra and you guys are going to create your own theory. And at the end of the day, we're fighting against Amazon, not against yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. I like that we're all cooks in the same kitchen. I'm gonna use that if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm good for it.
I'm gonna take that phrase. Yeah. Well, Ariel, thank you so much again for coming on today to talk to us about just in general improving your Amazon quality, optimizing your Amazon listings. Again, thank you for coming on today. I appreciate you. To everyone, all our viewers out there, you have your homework, you have your challenge. So get on that and let us know in the comments of this video if you see that quantifiable success. And stay tuned for our next episode. But thank you again. Thank you all for watching today. I'm Velocity Pete, and we will see you next week.